Welcome everybody to this call, which I call Standing Firm While Your World is Shaking. It's a it's a very different world right now. A lot of people are going through a lot of things, and a lot of people's world is shaking. And many people are challenging how to deal with this time, how to deal with the circumstances that one is facing at this point of time. And as a part of my commitment to my life, it is my commitment to bring light wherever there is darkness. That is my commitment. That is my commitment that I have made to me, and that is a commitment that I have made to my life and to the universe. So I have trained professionally to be able to deliver that commitment while I am alive on this planet. Yeah. So is the sound okay for everybody? All right. So if the sound is low for you so much, just check in your volume controls, please. Thank you. So some years ago, I awakened to why am I here? And the circumstances that led me to that point where I truly had to question this, where I truly had to question my existence, was a point where I was literally at the door of death. I was going through 4th stage cancer situation. I had had a tough life. I had had a fairly long struggle with life. I had been through lots, let's say. I had been through abuse. I had been through a point where, as a 14-year-old, I felt that I was a very horrible person. I didn't deserve to live. And I first time went up to the roof of a building to jump. And I was all of 14 years old because I believed that I was a very horrible person for something that I had done. And I was made to feel horrible about it. And from there began a series of bitter journeys, not knowing that it is how we think, how we believe, what we believe is what keeps creating our circumstances. So one thing led to another. So I've had my share of, being diminished, being cheated upon, heartbreaks, mental abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, no money, financial abuse, literally on the road at one point of time in my life, no money, no job, no support. Why? Because I had said, I want to live my life a certain way. And that was not a decision people around me were willing to support me for. So I said, no, this is not how I'm choosing to live. And I'm going to choose a different way, even if it doesn't make sense, even if it looks like it's a wrong thing to choose. But I'm going to live my life on my own terms. And so I stepped out with no security, no comfort, no money, no support. And I embarked on a path where I said, I am going to live a very different life. And yes, the bitterness continued because I still had not learned the fundamental basics as to how you change your life, to the point that all of it piled up and became a disease. And and soon I was at the door of death. And fortunately for me, I must have done something wonderful sometime, somewhere, that I got introduced to some life-changing philosophy. And from there began a journey, what I call the human revolution. And I kept changing and I kept changing. And yet things kept happening, which were not exactly the most pleasant situations until this point where I was at the door of death, despite having done so much changes, so much reformation within me. And yet here I was. And I had to really look as to what is really going on here. What is it that is creating this death? And simultaneously, in all of these years, because of that journey I had undertaken, I had also changed so many things about my life. And finally, life was like beginning to look up, and I was finally beginning to be happy. So now I had this thing in me that I wanted to live. But by this time, from a physical perspective, it was a bit too far out. And it was not coinciding with the new choices that I had made. And so I took a hard look and I asked this question: what is it that I'm really here for? Why do I really want to live to begin with? And what is it that I can choose today that will allow my body to also give me company and live? And so today, whatever I am going to share with you, I'm not sharing it with you as something that I have learned as a coach, as a life mastery consultant. No, yes, I have learned a lot of things, and all of those things have contributed to me to step into everything that I have stepped into today. Yes, I am going to bring all of that expertise that I have to this call. But it is not an expertise that comes just as a theoretical knowledge, as gyan that I'm here to give you. Whatever I say today, I say it from my heart. I say it from my life. Whatever I say is because I live it, because I use it. Doesn't mean I don't slip and I'm perfect and I implement it 100% of the time. But no, I implement it majority of the time. And as a result, I have created a life that I truly, truly, truly love. I have a beautiful life and I'm grateful and I'm very happy. I have amazing relationships. I have a beautiful home. I have a family I always dreamed of. I'm loved, I'm adored, I'm pampered, I'm respected. I have the monetary freedom. And I have a healthy body that partners me in doing everything that I have come to discover that I am here to do. So everything that I say today comes from there. So you may be facing something in your life that is shaking your world up. For some, it may be a major event. It could be a life-threatening illness. It could be a major financial loss. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be that you have been cheated. It could be some major event like this. Or it could be what you call, or what people will call, a minor event. Some friend betraying you, or someone not being there for you. Somebody having spoken badly about you or spread lies about you, been malicious in their actions. And it may seem like a small event to somebody who's looking in on your life. But for you, it is something that shakes your world. So it is not about what a big challenge or what a big problem you're facing, or how small your problem is. If you're facing something that is shaking your world, it is something. Okay? So I'm not going to give you a spiel about ignoring what is, denying what is, hiding things below the carpet. No. And it is in no way meant to take away your drama, your trauma, or your pain, or your hurt, or your sense of powerlessness, or your sense of choiceless. I'm not here to take any of that away from you. If it is something that is serving you, it is part of your journey. And you have all the right to have it. So I'm not going to make any of your hurt, any of your pain insignificant. No. But at the same time, I refuse to make it significant. Okay? I refuse to align with you if you tell me that you are choiceless, that you are powerless. I will not align with that either. Okay, so while I'll not try to take anything away from you, I will also not align with anything that does not allow you to see the truth of you, of your life, and of this universe. Okay, so do we have a deal here that everything that I say, you're willing to hear me out? You're willing to trust me on this one right now, and you're going to receive what I say. You don't have to align with it. You don't have to agree with it, but don't reject it either. Give it a fair listen. Is that a yes? Yeah, type it in or put your thumbs up. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I am truly, truly, truly grateful. I know many of you, and then I don't know some of you. Yeah. So either ways, I am super grateful that you are here, and I get this opportunity to fulfill my commitment to life, to myself, by way of being in service to you. Yeah, so really grateful for that. So one thing that is 100% assured, one thing that is a constant about life is change. Do you agree? Yeah. Everything is always in a constant state of motion, constant state of flux, right? Everything changes. There's nothing that is permanent. Yeah. Life is transient. Everything around us is transient. And so it is, I don't know whether the word is wise, but it would be wonderful if we start looking at life from that perspective, that nothing is permanent, everything is transient. Yeah. And so everything that I, you know, like when I have that expectation of life to be 100% perfect, 100% happy, 100% everything is working out all the time, I should be able to have a perspective that it may not be so, because life is subject to conditions which constantly keep changing. And if I am not in that place where I have built myself up into that infinite being that I truly am, if I've not built myself up into the greatness I truly am and all of that, then when the conditions change, I can topple. Yeah. So my invitation in this call is that each of us step into a greatness that lies within each and every one of us, so that when a storm comes, when the conditions change, and they will, it's not a matter of if they will, it's just a matter of when. When the conditions will change, I will be able to stand firm, even if my world is shaking. And that is the invitation of this call. How can we become those people, or how can we step into that capacity that each and every one of us has to be able to stand firm in the face of life, no matter what it is bringing our way? Yeah, are you with me on this one? Would you like that for yourself? Would that contribute to you? Give me a thumbs up. Yeah. All right. Awesome. Thank you for all the yeses in the chat. I'm so grateful for that. Super. So when things occur, yeah, now I'm talking about the tough stuff. Okay, I'm not talking about when life is all happy and all things are going very well. I'm talking about the times when conditions change and, something goes down south, or how you say, shit hits the fan, shit hits the ceiling, and you are quivering, you are trembling, you are shivering, you are fearful, you are, in that place where it looks like a dark night. Because I remember when I was told first time round that I had cancer, I was kind of shaking, but I recovered fairly quickly. When it occurred in a fairly major way the second time, I didn't flinch. I smiled, I laughed, and I went through it as if it was a breeze. I had this emotional strength, this spiritual strength within me that carried me through it. But when it occurred the third time and my whole treatment started, and with what it was creating in my body and the pain and the hell that it was creating in my life, I went into what I call today, in hindsight, the dark night of the soul. It was, I think, about 11 to 14 odd days when I could not see any hope. I could not see the light. I felt that it was just simpler and easier to die than go through what I had gone through or what I was going through. I felt that, you know what? I've been through enough in my life and I can't take this anymore. I'm done. I want to go. And so it was a very dark night. And that's what many of us, uh, I'm sure many of you here have seen it in some way or another, where you have felt that life is too much, everything is overwhelming, and everything is like weighing you down. There seems to be no way out. You don't seem to have a choice. You don't feel as if you have any power to deal with what's going on, and you feel helpless, you feel choiceless, you feel like a victim. Why is this happening to me? Why me? What have I done? I've been so nice and I've been kind and I have done some wonderful things, so why me? Yeah. And these are hard questions. These are questions that people can't give you any answers for, right? So it is something that we go through, and it feels very natural to feel hopeless and choiceless and feel like a victim. Mind you, it's like the most natural thing to feel in that moment. Being a victim, oh my God, it comes very easily to all of us. I can I can actually do a PhD on this subject. Okay. I have played that role so fantastically, and but now in hindsight, I know that um, not the best identity to live with. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I often quote this quote of Steve Jobs, and I'm going to be paraphrasing it. You cannot connect the dots going forward. You can only connect the dots in hindsight, right? When we are going through a dark night, when we cannot see that light, when we cannot see, uh, I'm not entertaining questions at this point in time, Nikshi. So sorry about that. I want to just be in the flow and we can take questions later. Okay. I'm sorry. So you can only connect the dots in the hindsight, right? And it's only in hindsight when you can see your journey from a very different perspective, and you can see that how it is precisely all of that that has gotten you to come to this particular place now in this moment, where you have a choice to step into something bigger, something greater, to discover that, wow, all of it in some way or the other contributed to me becoming who I am today. So for a longest of time, I was very, 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 very bitter about my life. And I lived like a victim. But today I'm telling you that I am so grateful for every hurt, every pain. I know I sound like a mad hatter right now. Who says I'm grateful for cancer? Who says I'm grateful for being on the road without any money? Must be a nutcase. Probably I am one. I'm crazy. But I also know that it was all of those things that pushed me in stepping up, that pushed me to make different choices than I had been making all along. These are the things that got me to that point where I was like, okay, I'm done. This is not what I want anymore. All right. I had to finally wake up and ask hard questions and wake up to a different possibility. Right. So, no matter how much you want to buy into that story that you are a victim, let me tell you, you are not. I may be disappointing you and I may be taking your drama away right now. Yeah, but like I said, I'm not going to align with it. I don't want to take it away from you, but I'm not going to align with that. No, you are not a victim. And that's what I believe. And I believe it based on my own experience, because I also believe the same thing, that I'm a victim. They did this to me. He did that to me. She did that to me. Life is so unfair. Why does it have to happen to me? I have done all of that. Yeah. I've cried tears. I have taken antidepressants. I've done all of that, right? Like I said, I'm a pro at it. So, what I learned is that I am not a victim. I am not helpless. I am not choiceless. What I learned is that all of these events were an invitation in my life to wake up to something that is much greater, to wake up to the greatness of life, to wake up to the greatness of me. I didn't know that there's a greatness in me. Remember, I believed that I was a very bad girl who didn't deserve to live. So for me to find out that, oh, wow, there's something beautiful within me, there's something very powerful within me, there's a greatness within me, was like a novel concept. And yet, that is what I woke up to. And this was theory for me for a very long time, and today it is not theory any longer, and it may be theory for you also at this point of time, but if you're willing to give it a shot, it will not be theory for you any longer. So I woke up to this fact that we are all infinite beings. Now, it is something that you have heard again and again in every second class that you may have gone to, every book that is spiritually inclined, every philosophy that you may have perceived. We are always told we are infinite beings. We are luminous beings. We are light. And yet, considering the conditions and the circumstances that we are stuck in, we find it so hard to believe. I mean, if I'm an infinite being and if I am luminous being and if I am light, then why am I in darkness? Why is my life not lit up? Why am I not living a different life? Right? And well, that is what any condition, any circumstance which is shaking your world up is teaching you. That is what it is inviting you to, that you are an infinite being, and that is the truth. So your reality may not be seeming like you're an infinite being, but the truth is that you are one. The truth is that you are greater than any circumstances, any conditions that you are surrounded by in this moment. So in this moment, whether you've lost your job in this COVID time, you have suffered financial losses, whether you are dealing with, sickness, whether your loved one is lying in hospital fighting for life, all of these situations are not greater than you. And every situation is an invitation for you to see this truth of you, that you are a very powerful being, that you have within you a life force, an energy that has created this entire universe. It has created the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the forests, the rivers, the mountains, the galaxies, the systems by which, the day follows night, the seasons follow each other. It's this beautiful divine order in the entire universe. And it is an expression of some intelligence. That intelligence is called the law, it's called God, it's called source, it's called by many names. Whatever it is something that has the intelligence, the creativity to create everything. And you and I are an expression of that same intelligence. We are that infinite energy, that infinite intelligent creative energy. That energy flows through us and as us. This is what I came to learn. And I could not obviously believe it for the longest of time, but I kept going there. I kept studying. I kept studying something called the universal laws and how they function, how universe functions, how life gets created. So it became my, my craze that I wanted to learn the science of how life gets created. And I started learning with various teachers. A lot of people have taught me. I have been to various workshops. I have accumulated many certifications, license, etc. But beyond that, I actually experimented. I kept practicing. I have tons to still practice, but I keep practicing. And I keep looking at a principle, and then I put it in my life, and then I see how it plays out, and I experience it for myself. Because when you have your own awareness, it's an awareness that is your own, and you will believe in it and you will go with it. When somebody tries to put their awareness on you, it is not yours, and it's a little difficult to have it, right? So even when somebody does give you an awareness, you've got to still play with it yourself to see if it is true for you or if it is not true for you. Okay. And which is why I said, I will share what I have to share, but you will take what resonates for you. You will take whatever contributes to your life becoming greater. Okay. So know this, that you are an infinite being and you are an expression of that infinite intelligence, which is creative and which has created this entire universe. You are that. You are not a powerless person, no matter what your conditions are forcing you to feel, to think, and to believe. So how you respond to this condition, which is shaking your world up right now, is up to you. Are you going to respond to it from the place of the diminished self, the finite self, which believes that it is helpless, it is choiceless, and then become bitter, angry, become resentful? Or are you going to respond from a place of empowerment, not knowing how you're going to turn the situation around in this moment, but leaning into that knowing that while I don't know what it looks like, while I don't know how this functions, but I'm willing to lean into this truth that I am an infinite being. Every philosophy says so. Every wise person, every ascended master has said so. There must be some truth. And I'm willing to give that line, that statement, a benefit of doubt. So, and that can become the moment where you can start changing your experience of life. That willingness to be that infinite being, that luminous being, that light that you truly are. That is the beginning moment. So when you are in a dark room, do you abuse the dark room? Like, let's say you walked into one part of your house and the room is dark. Do you abuse the dark? Do you feel choiceless in that dark room? Do you fight the dark? Do you resist the dark? No. What do? You know where the switch is, right? For the light. If you require, if that dark is not what you want, what do? You switch on the light, right? Same with life. No matter how dark it is, if you fight it, if you resist it, if you curse it, if you do a drama about it, If you go and do a victim, act about it, the dark is not going to change. It'll just seem darker. But you have a choice. You have a choice to shine your light upon that what is dark. And as you will shine your light, and what is that light? That light is the light of awareness. As you will shine that light of awareness, that dark will dissipate. The only way to dispel the dark is by putting on the light. There is no other way. And even if that light is a small candle in that moment, if that's all you have, just a little candle, just a little flame, that will still be the beginning, that you will be able to see a little bit. So it's so important to switch on that light. So where is that light? That light is within you. It's within me. And that decision that I am not a victim, I am an infinite being, and I'm switching that light on. Even if it is a tiny light right now, I really don't know, I don't believe in it, but I'm willing to. And that willingness becomes the light, that little candle flame that will start showing you something that you could not see before. Yeah. So all those things that were scaring you in the dark room, those forms, etc., as the light will increase, you will notice that they were just some things that you never really needed to be afraid of. Okay. So that's how it works. And so you will step up into that light, into that greatness that has always been within you, but it was just something that you hadn't tapped into. So whatever is going on for you, whatever it is that is shaking your world, it is a gift. And that's what I say, that everything I went through was a gift. I couldn't say it then, of course. I was in the dot, remember? When you're in the dot, you can't see how each dot is going to connect in the future. So when you're in the dot, you can't see it as a gift. But you also know very often in hindsight, you have seen, whatever happened, it happened for the best. Something wonderful came out of it. So here I would like you to lean in on those past experiences where in hindsight, you could see that whatever happened for the good. Something wonderful came out of it. So bank on that no matter what kind of a dot you are in right now, no matter how big the dot is, how dark the dot is, there is something here for me, which I'll only be able to see in hindsight, but it's there. And lean in on that there is something which is a gift here. It's just that I cannot see it in this moment, but I will see it. So I begin with the premise that there is a gift here. So step number 1, receive. Receive your condition, your circumstance that is shaking you up right now. Receive life just as it is right now, just the way it is showing up right now. It's looking tough. It's making you feel helpless, but receive. It holds a gift that you cannot see yet. So no matter whether it's a big thing or whether it's a small event in somebody's eyes, but it is big for you, it's shaking you up, but receive it. Don't try to fix it right now. Okay? Our natural tendencies, we want to fix something, it's wrong. Now, if I start from it's wrong, and if what I believe is what gets created, then I am going to hold that wrong in place. It's not wrong. Okay? How does one receive? One just allows it to be what it is without resisting it, without trying to hide from it, without trying to run away from it, without trying to make it go away. I wish it can go away. I wish I can, you know how it is when you are in that phase and you go to sleep, you go to sleep hoping that tomorrow when you open your eyes, it will no more be there. You want to wish it away. No, so you stop doing all of that. When you stop doing all of that, that's when you can receive it. That's how you receive it. You let your resistance go. Okay? So, number 2, now that it is here, now that you are agreeing to receive it, it's at your doorstep. And you have to face it. You have to open the door to receive something, right? Now, when you have opened the door to receive it, it's going to be right in your face. So you've got to face it. Yeah. Knowing, even though you don't believe it right now, but knowing, yeah, that you are greater than whatever it is that you're facing right now. You're greater than these circumstances. Now, you've not yet discovered the greatness, but just, like I said, light that candle right now, that I am greater than whatever I am facing right now. There is an infinite, intelligent, creative energy that is flowing through me and as me. It has created this entire universe. It knows how to outcreate this too. No circumstance is greater than the power that resides within me. This power is not outside of me. This power is within me. My reality, the facts may be very tough. They may be looking tough. They may actually be very tough. But the truth is that I am a luminous being. I am light. There is no darkness that I cannot dissipate. There is no darkness that I cannot dispel. So align with that truth and face the situation as the truth. Okay? I am not saying ignore the facts. No, you have to have the facts in your awareness to be able to do something about it. But you do not face it as somebody who's finite. You face it as somebody who's a luminous light being, who's an infinite being. Yeah, are you with me up until here? Yeah, thank you. Thirdly, trust. This used to be my very favorite line when I used to be shaking with fear, with anxiety, heart would be palpitating. And I would say to myself, I don't think anyone taught me this. This came from within me, from somewhere. I think it was that, that infinite being that I was just being that when I was saying it. I said, my life will never take me where I don't need to go. I trust my life. If my life has brought me here, there's a very good reason why I'm here. Okay? It wasn't making sense to me, but somehow I knew that I've got to trust my life. I've got to trust that if it has brought me here, there's a very, very, very good reason, even though I can't see it right now. And I based myself on that on that line, that my life will never take me where I don't need to go. And then as I studied how the science of, or the principles of how we create life, that's when I started recognizing that everything that I face in any given moment is a culmination of certain belief systems that I hold within me. It is a culmination of various choices that I have made based on what I believe. Okay? So if my consciousness is limited to the extent that life is tough, people are rude, people are mean, that is my awareness in this moment. I have not had an awareness of that, that power within me. So my awareness is limited to what I have seen, what I have learned, what I have believed. And, all my belief systems have come from all of that. And that is my limited understanding of life. And so, because I have a limited awareness, my candle flame is like only this much. I can't see what else is here, out here, right? So I knew that this moment, I kind of, as I studied, my awareness expanded and I realized that, oh boy, everything that I'm facing in this moment is actually a culmination of various choices that I have made. Now you'll say, if everything is a choice, why would you choose cancer then? Why would you choose to get cheated? Why would you choose to be unloved? Why would you choose to be unsupported? Sure, if I was being aware that I had a choice, I wouldn't have chosen it. But it was precisely because I was unaware that I'm an infinite being, that I have access to infinite choices, infinite possibilities. So I aligned with the fact that I don't have a choice. And everything I said, I did, got created from that limited awareness, right? So here is a moment in my life where I have made lots of choices, some consciously, some unconsciously, and everything in my life, all the results of my life are a reflection of all that I believe, all that I hold to be true, and all the choices I have made based on that limited knowing that I have been functioning from, or limited awareness, not limited knowing, limited awareness that I have been functioning from. So now is my opportunity to expand my awareness and see, what am I made up of? What else is possible here? What is life all about? How can I change this? And all of that, right? So trust. This is not a bad thing. It's just a situation, nothing more than that. It's just a situation, which is an invitation for you to see something that you didn't see before or couldn't see before. It is a situation which is an invitation for you to expand your awareness, for you to choose more consciousness. Yeah. So look for the good. That's the next thing you've got to do. Yeah. So like I said, it's only in the hindsight that you will be able to connect the dots. It's only in the hindsight that you'll be saying, yeah, something wonderful came out of it. Had that not happened, had that situation not pushed me, I wouldn't have done what I did. So a lot of people like me, I'm the example in every situation, but a lot of people, they actually started learning how to earn money because they got into a situation where they had lost their loved one who was the provider in the family, right? And you had no choice but to step up because you still needed to put the meals on the table, keep the roof over your head. And so you stepped up and you discovered skills in you and capacities in you that you never knew existed before. You never had the need to tap into them. Okay. So do we have to go through stuff to learn? No, not necessary. But if you had all the awareness, you wouldn't. But sometimes to have that awareness is that we don't choose that awareness, right? We don't choose to be conscious. And that's precisely, it's occurring to show you that, hey, sweetie, there's more to life than what you are going through. You have a choice to have something greater. Stop choosing this. Stop choosing the victim thoughts. Stop choosing the powerless thoughts, because it's precisely those thoughts that are creating your situations. Stop. Look. That's the invitation of your life. That's the invitation of that circumstance. Wake up. There is a different possibility available to you. Why are you choosing this? Would you like to create something different? Right? So yes, none of us would want to go through all of that. But the fact is that in my limited awareness, I cannot, in that limited light, that's all I can see right now. So what do? I expand my light. I grow my light. I step into that power that resides within me. So how will you do that? Few steps. Okay, guys, just give me a second. Nana, can you call Poonam and tell her I'm in a call?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thanks. You know who, right? Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So the first thing is, I'm sorry I had to, because I am attending to a person who's very ill. So I just need to give them a response. So the first thing is to become a fair witness to your life. Okay. So I want you all to do a little exercise with me. Yeah. Even those I can't see, I'll assume that you're doing the exercise with me. All right. So right now, I want you to notice your fingers. Put your fingers in front of you. Notice your fingers. Notice them. Look at them. Notice them. What are your observations about your finger? And you'll have many. Oh, too long, too short, too thin, too fat. My nails, oh my God, they're looking so dirty. I haven't done them for a long time. Oh gosh, my nail polish is chipping. Right? You notice something about your fingers, right? Come on, oh my. You're a model. And a beautiful one at that. Okay. So you noticed your fingers, did you?
Yes.
Who was noticing it?
We were noticing it.
What was noticing it?
Eyes.
Yeah, eyes are just an instrument. Who was noticing it?
The mind.
Oh, got it.
So you are not your body.
Yeah.
You are not your personality. You are a being who has chosen this suit, this body. You have chosen this embodiment to experience this beautiful planet, right? You are not your body. You are not your personality. You are bigger than this. So, as that being who noticed your fingers, you will notice your life. You will not be in your condition. You are not the condition. The condition is around you, but you are not the condition. So stop identifying yourself as that condition. Okay? Don't make it my cancer, my blood pressure, my high sugar. No, it is something that your body is experiencing right now. Okay? It is something that your life is going through right now. But you as a being, instead of identifying with it and becoming one with it, be a fair witness. Notice what you are noticing. Okay? So you are an infinite being who is going to look at this circumstance. What is this? What's going on here? Not, oh my God, this is happening to me. I'm a victim. I'm helpless. I'm powerless. If that's how you're going to look at it, you can't see anything else. All right. So step back, look at that circumstance, that condition, which is supposedly shaking you up, but now you don't need to get shaken up. Become a fair witness. Second, take responsibility, take charge. It's very easy to blame the government. It's very easy to blame the in-laws, the parents, the siblings, the spouse, the partner, the kids, the policies, the corruption, the weather, plenty to blame everything on, plenty. But if you are going to live as somebody who's not at all responsible for anything that's going on in your life, if you have no power only in your life, everybody else dictates your life, everybody else creates your life, then will you ever be in a position to take charge of your life any which ways? Then you will always be at the mercy of everybody. And remember, conditions keep changing. So you step into that responsibility that I am the powerful creator of my life. And yeah, so what? Due to a lack of awareness, I made some unconscious choices. Here I am right now. Yeah, everything is like, ugh. But I have the power. I am the power. And so I am going to take complete responsibility for what is, and I'm going to change this. Because blame games, victimhood is a way of saying, I don't have any power. And if you don't have any power, if that is what you believe, then that is what, how you will respond. And that is not going to really create anything wonderful. Yeah. If you believe that you are a victim, how can you be expecting to live a happy life? How is it possible? Then you can't be a victim. Either you're a victim or you're not. So if you're a victim, you've got to have a victim kind of a life where things are just continuously happening to you. Now, if you don't like that, then stop being that. So what would you really love to be? Yeah, a victim or an empowered person? Where would you like to live from? From an empowered place or from a place of victim? So if you've decided that your identity is that of a victim, you will have a victim life. It's as simple as that, right? So choose to take responsibility as the creator of your life. Function from an empowered place. Yes, there'll be the temptation, to blame, to sulk, to do pity party. That's okay. If you have to do it, set a timer, wallow, do pity party. Like how all other parties come to an end, let that party also come to an end. And then get on with your life and go create something that you truly love. All right. So I do not encourage pity parties, but sometimes, you've got to do them. That's okay. Do it, but put a time limit and get out of it. All right. Thirdly, remember when I said that it's only in hindsight that you can connect the dots. So be willing to look for the good. Be willing to look for the possibilities. So normally what happens is that when we have something going on, we want to fix it, right? Because it's a horrible situation, it's a broken situation, and I have to fix it. No, don't. Because your premise, your basic belief is that it's horrible, that is bad, that it needs to be fixed. No, you're only going to hold it. What you put your attention on is what you kind of solidify. So when you're continuously putting your attention on this is bad, I need to fix it, I need to fix it, I need to fix it, it's a little difficult. Yeah. And you're trying to use your mind, you're trying to figure it out, and that's limited in its knowing, in its experience, in its awareness. It really can't give you more information than what it's already experienced. It can't do jack. But in that moment, when you are willing to look at it as a fair witness, as an infinite being, and you say, okay, what are the possibilities available for me here? So there's a principle of creating life, which is choice. Choice creates. When you choose something, we live in a field of infinite possibilities. And when we choose a possibility, when we put our attention on that possibility, which is right now in the form of an energy, it turns into matter. It gets created as a new reality for you. Okay. So you have to look at the possibilities. You have to ask, what are the possibilities available to me here? Nana, can you keep people muted, please? So, so in that moment, be willing to look at the good in it, the gift in it. What is my life inviting me to see? Ask this question. is challenging you to see something, right? So what is my life inviting me to? What is it asking me to see? What is it asking me to look at? What is the awareness available here for me, which I have not ever had before? Okay. Look at how has your life been up until now? Has your life been one that you love? Have you been loving your life? Or have you been stressed out? You've been bitter, you've been angry. And of course, there will be moments of happiness too, but by and large, mostly, like I was happy at some times, but majority of my life, I was not unhappy. I was not happy, right? I was unhappy. So have I been stressed out? Have I been bitter? Where have I been operating from? Have I been operating from a place of empowerment, or have I been operating from a place of, diminished identity? And that will start giving me that will start giving you an awareness of what are the places where you have not been operating from that space of empowerment. What are the kind of choices you have been making that have actually gone ahead and created this situation? Are you feeling fulfilled? Are you feeling supported? Are you feeling loved? Or are you begrudging your life? Are you cribbing, complaining most of the time? What is it? So all of that. So, when we make a choice of thinking a particular kind of a thought, saying a certain kind of words, or feeling what we are feeling, all of it creates something. It's an energy which takes on a form of an equivalent nature. Okay. So our words, our thoughts, our emotions are very powerful. They create an electromagnetic field, and which draws into our life experiences which match that electromagnetic field that we are. Our thoughts create the electric energy field, and our emotions, our feelings create that magnetic field. And so the energy that we be at any given time, the vibration that we be, is what makes us or gives us this magnetic quality. And we keep attracting to us whatever energy we are being. So whenever you would like to have something as your life, you are always told you have to become the energy of whatever it is. Like you would have heard Einstein say, everything is frequency, everything is energy. It's no rocket science. It's pure science. It's pure physics, that when you would like to have something, you have to just become the energy of it. And so right now, in this situation, what are you being invited to look at? It will show you what energy you have been being. And that what you have been as energy is what has been continuously getting created as results. So if you don't like your results, you have to change the energy you be. It's like this, when you go to a theater and you're watching a movie and you're not liking the movie, do you go to the screen and try to wipe out that movie and try to change that movie? Even if you go there and you wipe it out, is that movie going to change? No. Where can you change the movie? You can go change the movie in the projector room, where you go, you change the film, and then what comes on the screen changes. So your life, your results, your life is that screen on which all the results are being reflected. The movie of what's going on inside of you is being reflected. That's all it is. Your life is just showing you how you function. What do you believe? What do you think? What do you say? That's all it is reflecting to you. So if you don't like that, go within and see, what is it that I need to change? What do I say which keeps me, creating this? So this situation is an invitation for you to take an inventory of how you function in your life. And then next thing is, take a long-term view of this situation. Take a look at it from a larger perspective. It's just a chapter of your life. Okay, it's a dark chapter, no doubt about it. It's a very, very dark chapter. It's shaking your world up right now. But it is not the whole book. It's just a chapter. So here's another statement that I said so often, when I would go through that pain post-surgery and chemos and all of that, and I wanted to jump out of the window because I couldn't tolerate it, I would just keep saying, this too shall pass. because I knew that everything is transient in nature. And I would keep saying this to myself, this too shall pass. Life will never take me to where I don't need to go, and this too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. I used to like let each moment pass, that this too shall pass. And true enough, that moment used to pass. Then would come the next one. Okay, this too shall pass. And then here I am, 5 minutes ahead, 10 minutes ahead, an hour ahead. And now, a few years forward, I'm happy. That too passed, right? So hang in there. Take a larger perspective. Don't get caught. This is not it. It's just a phase. This too shall pass. Like everything in life, this is also transient in nature, right? So it is just an invitation to a departure, from a life that you have been living up until now. All right? It's a moment where you can take a decision. Am I going to continue on the same path? Or am I going to change the direction of my life? I am going to choose new pathways. I'm going to choose new ways. Now, if you are willing to do these things, if you're willing to receive it, not resist it, be willing to look at it, face it, being willing to see the possibilities in it instead of being focused on how problematic it is, if you answer this call, then everything will go smoothly. It will process, of course. It will not necessarily turn overnight, but you will go through it, you will process it, but it will flow. You will be in the flow. So life has come, and now you're willing to flow with it and see which direction would you like to now turn life into. You will be in the driving seat because you're going with it. If you're going to try and go against it, you can't give it a direction because its flow is this way and I'm trying to go this way. You won't be able to steer it. So you want to steer your life, be in the flow, because that's where the motion is. Be in the flow. Yeah. And if you refuse to answer this call, yeah, now there is a greatness in you. Yes, of course, it's okay to have unhappy moments. You will have unhappy moments. It's not like you won't have, but get over it quickly. Build that muscle where you don't get carried away with it, right? It comes, it touches you, but it also goes away and you are standing firm. Remember, that's the whole idea, to be able to learn how to stand firm while your world is shaking. And this is how you do it. Doesn't mean it'll be perfect all the time and you will be like high vibration all the time and everything will be, fab. No. But the more you will practice it, the more you will be in the flow than against the flow. Okay. So if you refuse to answer the call, and this is what was one of my very big learnings, one time cancer, second time cancer, third time, I said, what is going on? Didn't I address it the first time it happened? Didn't I sit and go for so many workshops? Didn't I take care of so many traumas, dramas? I let go of so much. What is this? But obviously, I had more, which I had not yet looked at. So there was more coming out in my life. So it was all showing up again and again. And so that's what life does. When you don't listen to the call, it ramps itself up. Why? Because there is a greatness within you, which knows that there's another possibility available, which knows that there's a far more greater way of life available to us. But I am not listening because I'm so identified with my dramas and traumas and my body, and I'm forgetting to be a fair witness. I'm forgetting my truth. And so my truth is, the greatness in me is seeking expression. And because I'm not paying attention, it has to knock more loudly and more loudly. And it kept knocking at my door till it got so loud that now I was like, either we are going to next life Or if we are beginning to like the life here, then better wake up. There's something that's missing here. So you can either answer the call, or the call will keep getting louder and louder. So one can nip it in the bud, so to say, or it can get to a stage where it becomes a big one. And you just have to deal with that much more. Yeah. So how tough you're going to make it for yourself, how easy you're going to make it for yourself is up to you. It all depends on what you will choose, whether you will choose to respond to the call, not curse it, not fight it, not resist it, but embrace it, receive it, and see and tap into the gift that it is carrying, which you cannot see right now, but is there somewhere. There's beauty within it, there's gift within it. And the gift is that you discovering how powerful you are, how great you are. Okay. So you can look at it from two perspectives. How do you know what is required? That's why I told you, ask those questions. What do I need to do here? What have I been choosing? Because your results are very clearly showing you what it is that you've been choosing. If you've been choosing to complain and crib and curse your life and be out of your power by doing blame games, victimhood, that's what you're creating. So you need to change all of that and step into, your power, take responsibility as the creator of your life, right? So you can look at any situation in your life from two perspectives. That either it's supporting you to move forward, or that it is stopping you from continuing a life that you have known up until now, because it knows that there's some greater choice available to you. It's just that you're not choosing it. So bottom line is that it is sending you a signal to become more, to do more, to be more. Yeah. You can answer this call willingly and make it easy for you, or you can do it unwillingly and you will still be made to answer the call, but in a tougher way, till you really choose to wake up to that power within you. So yeah, so two perspectives are, somebody asked me, is that either it is supporting you to move forward, yeah, or it is something that is stopping you from continuing with the life that you have known up until now, yeah, and inviting you to something greater, right? So the way to turn this around is choose. Choose what would you love. Instead of sitting and keep putting your attention and energy on what's not working, go to the other end. What would you love? What would you love? If you were not being sick, what would you love? Would you love to be healthy? If you do not enjoy being, poor or having less money, what would you love? Would you love to have lots of money? So whatever it is that you don't like about your life, there is an opposite of that you want, right? That you desire for yourself. So choose that. Whatever you put your attention on grows. So put your attention on what you would love. Yeah. And then start living from that vision. So if everything is a vibration, yeah, if your current situation, which is shaking you up, is a reflection of the vibration you are being right now, then what you would love also, by the same logic, has a vibration, right? So then you have to become the vibration of that to have that as your life. Correct? Are you with me up until here? So what is your role now? This is where your magic begins. You have to become the vibration of that which you desire. How do you become that vibration? By having a vision of it, as if you already have it. Yeah. So just like how you have something right now going on, and so you're being that vibration, right? And it's your vibration that has created that. So similarly, you become the vibration of, as if you have that which you would love to have as your life. Yeah. So you've got to see yourself living that choice. So it's like, if it's you being wealthy, how would you be living if you were wealthy? And start being that vibration. And you can use this. I'm so happy and grateful now that I live a life I truly love. I'm so grateful and happy that I earn X amount every month. It's such a joy to be able to, lavish my family with gifts and take them for that vacation and literally, feel the energy, be the energy, and be everything in your thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc., which literally are the vibration of as if it's already occurring. And the more you will keep building this energy up, where you truly believe that you are an infinite being and there's nothing that you cannot create, then the more that will strengthen in you as a belief. This new programming will take over from a victim programming. Now you will replace it with this new programming that, I am greater than my circumstances. And I will start living from my vision, and I'll become the vibration of that vision. Okay. So start living from your vision and be happy and grateful each day. Stand in the truth of who you are. You are an infinite being, no matter what the facts are. Yeah. No matter what the facts are, no matter how overpowering they are, remember, you are greater than any of that. All right. So I'd like to bring this conversation to a close by sharing with you a statement that I use. I am going to live in and from the full empowerment of myself. Okay. I am going to live in and from the full empowerment of myself. Are you willing to? So I applaud you and I celebrate you. And I express my gratitude to you. You are an illuminous being. You are light. Keep bringing in more light and lightness into your life. Whether you use one modality, second modality, third modality, a mix of modalities, doesn't matter what you do. Keep expanding that flame. Keep widening and increasing that light that you are. Study the principles of life. Yeah. And discover who you truly are. There is nothing that is greater than that power that lies within you. You are not your circumstances. Stand firm while your world is shaking. Thank you.
Amazing. Super.
Love you, Smriti. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Very
evening.
needed
Love
that,
you. Thank
Smriti.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
So-
much,
Thanks
Smriti.
so much,
Thank you,
Smriti.
Smriti.
Thank you. So if you
Gratitude.
still have a
much.
question, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you
Smriti.
so much. Thank you. So if you still
Thank
have a
you,
question,
Smriti. Thank you, Smriti. It was
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks,
I'm very
Yeah.
curious. Whose iPhone? I don't know who that was. Okay. So, yeah. All right. So if after all of that, if you still have a question, I'm happy to answer.
Hi, Smee. Shivangni here.
Hi.
I had a question regarding the two perspectives.
Hmm?
So you said we are either, like the first perspective is either that we are being supported to move forward,
Hmm?
or the second is that we are we are stopping ourselves from living the life we've been living up till now, and it's inviting us.
It is stopping you from that the way you've been living up until now. Yeah, it is stopping
And
you.
it's inviting us to change.
It's
So
inviting
both
us to something greater. It's the same thing.
yeah, that's what I meant. It means the same thing, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks so much. Love you.
Love you too. It's the same thing, but just saying it differently. If you like the words, it's stopping me and all of that, or whatever, it's the same thing. It's stopping you, it's making you go forward. Those are the only two perspectives you can have. There's no other perspective that you can have if you want to stand firm. It is not here to destroy you.
I have a question, Smriti.
Sure.
This is Krish. So,
Hi, Krish.
so nice to see you. Thank you for this lovely talk. It's so inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I can totally relate to you, but I'm dealing with a lot of pain on a constant basis for years. So you're saying it's because I'm being in a victim mode that I'm not able to overcome it, or how I'm still not.
I will not be able to tell you what is it because.
Okay.
But I can only tell you this one thing. When I looked at it for myself, I realized that our bodies are like a GPS. If we are in a lot of pain, it's obviously because we have deviated from the truth.
Okay.
So it's a call to realign with who we truly are. So it's like how, when your GPS is on, it kind of beeps that you've gone off track, you've gone off track, you've gone off track. So the aches, pains are like that beep. They just get louder and louder. So initially it may start as a cold. I'm just telling you from my experience. Starts as a cold. You will do some steam inhalation. You will pop some, you'll do some Vicks vapor rub and things like that. And few days later, you're better and you keep moving on. You don't really think that your body is trying to tell you something, your life is trying to tell you something, that maybe there's something upsetting you. And that's the reason why your immunity has got affected. And that's the reason why the cold has come on. Yeah, fine. You treat it symptomatically, you move onwards. Then suddenly you're having neck ache, then you're having back aches. Again, you do physiotherapy, you do massages, you take painkillers, and you keep going on. You're still not listening to your life, that you are feeling unsupported, you're feeling unloved. There could be all kinds of things going on, right? But we are not paying attention. Why? Because we've never been taught that our life speaks to us. Our body speaks to us. Our body tries to do its best to show us that, hey, sweetie, you need to change. You need to get your act together. We are not listening because we were not taught to listen. And then we still are not doing anything about it. We are still continuing to be bitter, angry, complaining, victimy, and all of that. And all of that is affecting the cells in our body. It's affecting the energy flows in our body, but still we are not listening. Then it gets bigger and louder and louder. So if you notice that if you start listening, and then you start creating a life that you truly love, and you live with that joy and that happiness and all of that, everything else starts resuming to its original condition. So your cells, your natural state is that of thriving, abundance, prosperity. The healthy body is within you. The body that has no pain is within you. It's not outside of you. So if you're willing to have that vision for yourself, that I'm so happy and grateful now that I am absolutely healthy. That's what I did, right? So I'm so happy and grateful now that I am healthy. And I used to see myself swimming and walking and doing everything that I would do if I had a healthy body. And even though I couldn't physically dance because I didn't have the energy, I would put on the music and I would just shake in my bed, as if I'm healthy. So I would create the energy of I am healthy. And gradually, and I also let go of all my bitterness, my resentments, all my blame games and the rage and the anger. I started letting go all of that. I started taking responsibility for my life. And as I let go of that anger and that hurt and the blame games, etc., there was a peace that came in within me. And that peace started pervading every cell in my body. And as my cells returned to that peace, that joy, which is the original nature of me, they started getting healthy. And the healthy body came forth.
Thank you so much.
Does that help, Krish?
Yeah, it does.
So please go about creating a life that you truly love. And then I think you'll be fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So welcome.
Hi, Smee. Gurjot here.
Hey, Gurjot. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, sweetheart. Rocking it.
Lovely.
Tell me.
So I am looking forward for some insights, basically clearings or something, because I had been out for like 15 days from my place and I had like a gala time. I was also going through like a little emotional up and down because I felt a little unsupported because I took a step for that particular trip going all by myself. So the trip went well and I was returning, and a day before I got this huge spasm in the back, which I had got like way back in 2010 when I was in Delhi when it was extreme cold. So the doctor said it is because of the cold, but I know it is more than the cold, and somehow I'm not able to release.
Can I
that.
ask you a question?
Sure, please.
Are you aware of the projections?
Yes.
Is that the projection that you've locked up in your back?
Yes.
And you know how to clear it? I've taught it to you in a class, so do it.
Yes, I know that. I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So I've given you lots to think about. We will share the replay of this call on all the chats that we shared the message of this call on. All right. And feel free to play it again, listen to it again. Take what works for you. Leave what doesn't work for you. Do not take my truth as your truth. Find your own truth. Find what is true for you. Okay. Some question. What energy one can be to resolve conflicts with people? So what is the opposite of conflict? I'm sorry, I don't know your name, so it's coming as iPhone. Yeah. So be the energy of that. And how will you be that? By letting go of your judgments, by letting go of all the blame games, resentments, recognizing that everybody does what they do and everybody chooses what they choose because that's all that they can choose at the level of consciousness that they are at in that moment. So every choice that we have made, none of it is wrong. We could not have made another choice in that moment, but that's all we knew. If I knew better, I may not have chosen that, right? But I didn't know better. You know how it is? There's a particular vegetable that you've been eating in a certain way, you cook it in a certain way, and you've been eating it a certain way. And then suddenly you go to somebody's house and you say, oh my God, this vegetable is so tasty. It doesn't turn out like this for me. And that's when I discover a new way of making that same vegetable. And now I know a better way of making that vegetable and it's tasty. Now I enjoy it. Same thing. Just learn a better way. There's always another way. You just didn't have it in your awareness at that time. And so you were suffering it. But the moment your awareness expanded and you got to know of another possibility, there you go. So there are people who have plenty of money, who are happy, who have beautiful relationships, who have healthy bodies. I'm now a case and example of that too. So I know it's possible. Choose it. You can choose it too. But do the work. Let go of everything. that is not in alignment with you being an infinite being. Let go. Okay? Yeah, for someone who has never seen loving relationships as a child, it's difficult to see things from perspective of faith and trust. How can they learn to have trust and be grateful? I didn't see loving relationships when I was a child, but I have it now. Why? Because if you long for it, you know that it's a possibility that exists. If it was not a possibility that was available, you wouldn't be able to desire it. You wouldn't be able to perceive it, let alone desire it. So you know it's a possibility. Start being the vision of being loved and supported. That's what I did. I let go of the belief that I cannot be loved and I cannot be supported. If you're not loved and if you're not supported, it's because you have a belief somewhere. And you're constantly saying it in your head, in your heart. You're being the energy. No one loves me. No one loves me. No one loves me. That's what I used to do. So no one loved me. Start with, I'm willing to be loved, and become the energy of what would it feel like if you were being loved and if you were being supported, and express your gratitude as if you already have it. Even though facts say that you don't, but it's there within you as a possibility. Are you willing to have that, live that possibility? Because that possibility is within you. It's not outside of you. Okay. Yeah. Are you willing to stand firm while your world is shaking? Yes. So it's 9:30. I'm going to say thank you. Have a wonderful evening, wonderful day, because I know some of you joined us from different parts of the world. And I am so, so, so happy that you came here today and you joined me today. Have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, wonderful afternoon, a wonderful night. God bless. Thank you so much.
Beauty.
Bless you.
Thank you, Smee. Love you, love
God
you, love
bless
you.
you.
Bye.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you.
Bless
Love you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Love
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.